Hey guys,
Hey.
we're off to start our next adventure
Yes.
in the Rob and Tracy program. We've got about a 2.5 hour, 3 hour drive to get where we're going, and then we'll reveal what we're doing next.
Yeah, it's exciting. Stick
Hope's
around.
along with us today. She's going to take the ride because she's excited also. So let's get this thing rolling.
Time was so much fun, there ain't nothing I would ever change with you. Join your nights into the morning, I wanna wake up every southern morning with you. I wanna wake up every southern morning with you. I wanna wake up every southern morning with you. I wanna wake up every southern morning with you. Getting lost in your Tennessee eyes. She's my southern girl.
So we took the plunge and dropped the money on the bus. This is a shorter bus than what we originally looked at, but because we want to take a little Chevy Spark and tie to the back of it, this is going to be perfect. It's going to be a little tighter in space, but our channel will kind of transition over between homesteading and bus building at this point. We drove about 3 hours to get down here and look at this bus. It's a really good buy. It's got 16,000 original miles on it, which is rare in the bus world. It belonged to a private school. So with a little bit of work, a little bit of maintenance, everything should be good. Met some really cool people down here that we bought it from. So we're gonna leave a deposit on it today. Have to get my insurance and everything worked out in North Carolina, then whip back down here to South Carolina next weekend, pick the bus up and drive it home. So exciting times. Already got all the seats out of it, so that saved us a lot of work. Saved us a lot of what we need to do. We've kind of measured things out, and we can shrink the plans up, make it a little bit smaller, but this bus will also go into all the national forests where they have length restrictions. So we think this is going to be a good time.
Our bus is home.
Okay, well, we got the bus home. So here we are back in North Carolina, and the bus is sitting on our farm, ready to rock and roll. So I'm not allowed to do anything to it yet because Tracy went to church this morning, and she doesn't want me to start taking things apart until she has an opportunity to help. So what I'm going to do is get a broom, and I'm going to start cleaning, sweeping things out, and getting it a little cleaned up. It's a 1991. It's 28 feet long, front to end. Got a DT360 inline 6 diesel, which is a really strong engine. And amazingly, the bus only has 12,000 original miles on it. Now, we've confirmed that through DMV records, and we also ran a Carfax on it just to make sure that somebody hadn't switched out the odometer. Now, yesterday coming home, we had a radiator leak. It was leaking out a small amount. So about every 60 miles or so, we'd stop and add a little bit of water to it so that we could keep the temperature down. We didn't want temperature to come up and do damage to the engine. Other than that, we had a pretty uneventful trip. There is a little engine drip, engine oil dripping on the ground, a drip here and there. So I think that's an oil cooler line. I'll get in and do the mechanical work on it, order a new radiator for it, and get that set up, and we should be good to go on the drivetrain. All in all, we got a really good deal. Like I said, it's a 28-foot bus, so we've got about 22 feet of working space inside by 7.5 feet. And as you can see, currently I can stand up in the bus. Now we'll take the floors out and we'll strip all this rubber off, which appears to be the worst thing you can do to a bus. Get the old plywood out from underneath. We'll take all of the ceiling panels out, take the old insulation out. We'll probably use a rock wool insulation when we put that back together. We'll take all the sidewalls out, all the framing around the window. Every window in the bus has to come out. We'll clean everything, polish everything, put new sealing in, reinstall the windows. A few of them have broken latches up in the top, but I've already found out how to fix those. So we're going to turn this thing into a hurricane runner, a nice little apartment on wheels, so that when we're threatened with a hurricane here that necessitates us leaving, we'll be able to just grab the bus. We'll take the little Chevy Spark we have, put it on a tow dolly behind it, and take off for parts unknown to wait out the hurricane. So when Tracy gets back, we'll get started taking all these panels out today and starting to turn this into a home. For now, I'm gonna grab a broom and start cleaning.
Daddy worked hard just to keep us fed, and at supper time he'd always give thanks. And we all knew where our blessings came from.
Hey, as you can see, Tracy made it home. She
Hey.
got in from church just a few minutes ago and ran the vacuum and cleaned up a little bit around the back of it. So, what do you think, Tracy?
I think it's gonna be awesome.
We have a bus.
Yeah, we have a bus.
We have I think I've already explained it, but it's 28 feet long from front bumper to rear bumper, so that gives us roughly 22 feet to work with in between. So we've got a lot to do. What are we going to start with?
We're gonna start with the ceiling, disassembling the ceiling, taking the panels down, and ripping the old insulation out.
There's a few screws in that ceiling.
There's a million screws in the ceiling.
What's different about that ceiling?
The ceiling, instead of being panels running side to side, it's two long panels running from back to front, and they overlap in the middle. So we're going to have to start on that side and take that panel down first because it overlaps this one.
Right, this is a Wayne bus,
Yeah.
not a Bluebird or a Thomas, so
Right.
it doesn't have those panels that run. It's just extremely long, 24-foot panels that run front to back, as you can see here. It's just a bunch of screws down the center that are about 1 every inch, and then you've got them going to the sides. I think we've got to start with the cowling on the side. And I think you said we have to start on that side
Yes.
because it overlaps that way.
Yes.
Okay, so we got to get the emergency exit out.
Yep.
Start taking 2.5 million screws out.
Yep.
We've got 2 drills.
Yep.
What kind of drills?
Roby one.
Nah, they're the only tool there
It's
is.
the only tool there
If you're
is.
going to do a bus build or a homestead or just projects around the house, Roby one's the way.
Yes.
We've got 6 of the 4 amp hour batteries, so we can go for days on end. So let's get this build started. We've
All
got to
right.
get the wheelchair lift out of here at some point
Yep.
and figure out how we're going to lay this thing out. And then we got to take the dreaded rubber floor out.
Oh yeah. Nah, we're
Hey.
into it.
We'll just get the roof and insulation out.
Okay.
Alrighty, let's unscrew the bus.
We do the panels as we get them down.
Throw them out the back door. I've seen a million people do it.
You're right.
This might not come out.
Yep.
Yay! This one we didn't strip. Well, as y'all can see, we're getting at some nasty old insulation and wiring. This is what we want to get to. I kind of like the way that this Wayne bus is built better because the sides don't have as much roll. They kind of come up and then turn. So I think it's going to be easier for the build.
Yep.
I am an expert carpenter, so we'll see what I can do. Make something out of a bus. We've discovered that in order to get the ceiling out, we've got screws under this front header. This is put in with rivets. It's going to be a little bit different than just taking screws out. So I'm going to have to drill all these rivets out and try to get this panel off of here. One of the things that I see a lot of people on bus builds doing is stripping screws out. They're like, oh, that one's stripped, and they got to cut it out. The trick is get a really fat and short Phillips bit instead of getting a standard Phillips bit. These have got real fat heads, and they're kind of, I don't know if you can see it, they're flat on the end, and they go in these bigger screws and they lock in better so that you don't have a stripping problem. So I'll get a drill and start drilling these out. Whew. Well, there are 6 million screws in this roof, and through our best efforts with fat drill bits, we've still managed to strip a few. But if you strip screws out, we watched a girl leave her wild, Jaylena, and she had a problem with strip screws, and somebody told her to take a grinder and just cut a single deep gash in it, and then take a straight edge screwdriver on the drill, and it'll come out. So far, those have come out.
Yeah, they have.
My arms feel like spaghetti, and we have half of the center row. Now these are spaced, as you can see, nearly
1
an inch apart.
Yeah.
Once we get out in here, they're not as bad. Now we've gotten the front panel off. I got that hidden screw that was pinned under it out, so we should be able to get this panel out of here. So let's get back at it.
Yep. Let's get it done.
How many arms left? Okay, so this happens. No matter how careful you are, you'll get these sometimes. Okay, what we've learned on these, we learned from Jaylena at Lever Wild. Take your grinder, and this is another Ryobi 1 tool that's amazing, and cut a groove in it, right in the center. And then take a flathead screwdriver in that groove, and it'll come right out. So that's really the best way to get a strip screw out. Just cut your groove, take it out. Really doesn't get any simpler than that. We've got the majority of the screws out. I've got to go take the grinder and do a couple more. And then we'll take this full length section out all the way, and we'll have this side off. It was pretty quick actually taking the screws that down the middle with made me want to go sell the bus. But Tracy said, no, we're not selling the bus, we're building a schoolie. But these came out pretty easy other than the ones that stripped, so I'll get back on those and then we're going to pull this panel out.
We just got finished ripping out all the insulation on the passenger side of the bus, and took scrapers and scraped all of the loose stuff.
Yeah, it's like they spray a black adhesive in there before they put it in there, so it's kind of stuck. So you just took putty knives and scraped that down.
Yeah.
So that side's ready.
Yeah, and luckily we found no rust.
Well, I'm gonna get a broom and sweep this up and get the shop vac and sweep. That's probably all we're gonna do for today.
Yeah. I'm gonna go hit the shower and get this crap off of me.
Yep, go hit the shower and I'll go find the shop vac and get cleaned up.
Okay.
So that's really it on the bus today. We'll probably chill out here this evening and do nothing in it later, but we'll catch y'all next time.
See ya.
Thanks for watching.